Hi spoiler friends, welcome back to the ESK channel. Here, we'll be diving into movie plots that you're definitely going to enjoy. So there's absolutely no downside to subscribing to this channel. In this episode, we're going to talk about a movie with a ninja theme. The film is titled Ninja Assassin, which was released back in 2009. This movie tells the story of ninjas living in modern times. It turns out, there are still hidden ninja clans that exist, and they've been working as assassins for thousands of years up until today. Alright, without further ado, let's jump right into the plot of Ninja Assassin. At the beginning of the film, we see a Yakuza boss named Machi getting a tattoo on his back. One of his subordinates arrives with an envelope containing black sand. The tattoo artist looks terrified upon seeing the black sand coming out of the envelope. It's a sign that something dreadful is about to happen. The Yakuza boss and his men laugh it off, thinking it's just a joke. The old man begins to tell them that someone once received a similar envelope filled with black sand. And then, something terrible happened. They came out from the shadows. Everyone died. The old man then reveals a scar on the left side of his chest. He says he was lucky because his heart isn't like most people's, it's on the right side of his chest. He has a ninja tattoo in the center of his chest to remind him of that horrifying event. The Yakuza members laugh at the idea of ninjas in the modern era. Then suddenly, one of the Yakuza members' head splits open. Panic and terror spread among them. They scream. The lights go out. The sound of swords swinging fills the air, though no enemy can be seen. One by one, the Yakuza members fall. The Yakuza boss fires his gun in every direction. In complete panic and fear, he shouts that he'll pay any amount of money to the ninja, as long as they don't kill him. But there is no response. The old man says, it's useless to negotiate with these creatures. They're not human. They're demons sent from hell. While the chaos continues, the Yakuza boss's hand is suddenly severed. Then, his head is slashed off by an invisible weapon. He dies instantly, in a gruesome way. From the shadows, the ninja finally appears. The ninja walks toward the old man with cold eyes. Without a word, the ninja slashes the old man. Then, the scene shifts to the city of Berlin, at Europol headquarters. An investigative agent named Mika meets with her superior, Maslow. She presents the findings of her investigation into a series of recent mysterious murders. It begins with the assassination of the Queen of Korea in the 1800s by members of the Azuno ninja clan. Mika investigates the trial transcript of a defendant named Kunitomo Shikiaki, where the prosecutor questions a payment of 45.3 kilograms of gold to the Azuno clan, an issue that was never discussed again until now. That amount matches the rumors circulating about a Yakuza group that paid 45.3 kilograms of gold to the Azuno clan, which led to the massacre at the Machi Yakuza club located in Osaka. Mika believes this clan has existed for thousands of years and has never changed its way of valuing the life of its targets. Then, Mika digs even deeper. She uncovers a link between the death of the Russian Prime Minister, Zhukov, and the Azuno clan. A day before the assassination, a mysterious transfer from the Bank of Shanghai occurred, equal in value to 45.3 kilograms of gold at today's rate. Mika insists that the Azuno clan is not a myth, but real. She reveals that the clan kidnaps street children and trains them to become killing machines. Maslow finds all of this hard to believe. He is not yet convinced. Then the scene shifts to a laundromat. A man is seen doing his laundry. Next to him, a woman approaches and seems to be asking for help. As the man steps closer to her, he asks, "Which clan are you from? What are you doing in Berlin?" The woman looks shocked. Then, without warning, she attacks the man. A fight breaks out between them, using small knives. When the laundromat owner comes to check what's going on, he finds something strange. From one of the washing machines, blood is seeping out. Inside the machine, there is a dead human body. Back at Mika's place, Mika and Maslow were seen having lunch together by the roadside. Maslow said that he had further investigated Mika's findings about the death of the Russian Prime Minister several years ago. Using his connections within the Russian KGB network, he discovered a report by a high-ranking KGB agent named Alexei Sabatin.
The report discussed the possibility that several political assassinations had been carried out by an ancient and sophisticated network known as the Nine Clans. Mika then asked what happened to Alexei Sabaton. Maslow said the agent had been expelled from the service on grounds of mental instability. Mika finally felt relieved. Maslow believed in his research. Switching to the man who was seen earlier at the laundromat. His name is Raizo. Raizo enters his apartment. Inside, there are various ninja weapons. Raizo is a ninja. In the apartment, Raizo recalls his past. He remembers when the leader of the Izunu clan, Lord Izunu, introduced himself to the clan's young students when Raizo was just a child. In another memory, Lord Izunu instructs the students to master their bodies. Pain, hunger, thirst, even their limbs, blood, and skin, must all be brought under control. Then, Lord Izunu is seen slicing his palm with a knife. He clenches his hand and chants a ninja mantra. When he opens it, the wound has vanished. It healed on its own. That is the power of the Izunu clan. That is the way of the ninja. As an adult, Raizo constantly trains to master his body. In another place, Mika met with the wife of Alex Sabaton, a KGB agent who had filed a report linking the death of the Russian Prime Minister to the Nine Clans. Alex's wife said that Alex's report had caused trouble in his career. After the report surfaced, Alex's behavior changed. He seemed frightened. He installed locks on every part of the house. He set up cameras and motion sensors everywhere. He put lights all around. There must be no shadows, Alex said. One day, a man came to Alex's house. They spoke briefly, then left together. Alex's wife said that he used to be a soldier, a member of Russian intelligence. Alex was not a man who frightened easily. But when she saw him, the fear in his eyes was unmistakable. Then Alex stood up and told her how much he loved her. She said Alex had died. Before his death, there had been a power outage, and she refused to speak further about it. She then handed Mika a file from Alex's past research. At home, Mika opened Alex's file. Inside were various pieces of evidence proving that the ninjas were real. There was also a CCTV tape, and when played, Raizo's face could be seen in it. Raizo moved into his apartment, where he was seen training with a sword and a kusarigama. There was a visible anger within him. Raizo then recalled his past, back when he was a teenager and a student of Izunu. He fought with a peer of the same age. At first, Raizo was able to control the fight. However, his opponent used dirty tactics and eventually defeated him. After the fight, Izunu approached Raizo and told him that what he was feeling wasn't real pain. Izunu then pressed into Raizo's abdomen and said, "This is what real pain feels like." Raizo screamed in agony. Izunu told him to endure the pain. The pain didn't fade, even as night fell. By morning, when Izunu returned to see him, Raizo had already learned to master the pain. Switching to Mika's location, at her office she is approached by Agent Zabransky. He asks whether Agent Maslow has been acting strangely lately. Zabransky mentions that a heavy workload can lead to stress and mental exhaustion. Mika then goes to meet Maslow. It turns out that Maslow was also approached by Agent Zabransky, who asked him the same question about Mika. Mika says that someone is watching them and doesn't want them to continue their investigation into the case of the Nine Clans. Maslow says this is no ordinary case. Many of the world's powerful figures are involved. These assassin clans are protected by corrupt officials. Maslow then warns Mika to be extra cautious. That night, Mika returns home and examines the report files belonging to Alex. There, it is written that in an ancient scroll from the 14th century, a Muslim explorer named Ibn Battuta visited one of the oldest of the Nine Clans, known as the Black Sand Clan. In a remote Shadu hidden behind snow-covered mountains, Ibn Battuta witnessed a dinner celebration accompanied by a martial arts performance by two young children under the age of 10. Then, the scene shifts to Raizo's place. At one time, Raizo was easily seen with his eyes covered by Ozuno. Raizo had to live without his sense of sight for a full year. He fought relying solely on his sense of hearing. At first, Raizo couldn't adapt. But eventually, his hearing sharpened dramatically, and he was able to fight without seeing. Raizo could hear his opponent's movements and was able to defeat them. At night during rest time, with his sharp sense of hearing, Raizo was able to hear Kiriko's heartbeat, beating in sync with his own. Raizo smiled. On another day, Kiriko was seen defeating her opponent in a fight. Azunu then ordered Kiriko to cut her opponent with a knife, but Kiriko refused. Azunu responded by wounding Kiriko's cheek and punishing her. That night, feeling sorry for her, Raizo visited Kiriko in the punishment box. He gave her some water, as she looked very thirsty. On another day, during a heavy rain at night, Raizo noticed that Kiriko was no longer in her bed. He then chased after Kiriko, who was attempting to escape. Raizo tried to stop her, knowing the consequences would be severe. But Kiriko continued with her escape, believing that real life was out there, beyond the walls. Kiriko then climbed to the top of the wall, determined to flee from that place. Switching to the adult Raizo, he is seen walking while holding a photo of Mika with an address written on the back. Meanwhile, at Mika's place, Maslow warns Mika of the danger looming over them. Maslow confesses that he has never been under such suspicion throughout his career. He has been investigated by military police, Homeland Security, the CIA, and others. Maslow then instructs Mika to take a leave of absence and gives her a pistol for protection. When Mika arrives home, she finds her neighborhood experiencing a power outage, and the inside of her house is completely dark. Unexpectedly, she discovers a white envelope containing black sand inside. Soon after, a ninja appears, swinging a sword at her, which is blocked by something unseen. It turns out there are two ninjas present. A fight breaks out between the two ninjas in the darkness. One of them is eventually defeated. A voice warns Mika that more will come. They won't stop until Mika is dead. The voice says he will help her. Then, a figure emerges from the shadows. It is Raizo. He is the one who saved Mika's life. Mika appears to recognize Raizo from a CCTV recording. Raizo then tells Mika to leave the place with him. Raizo then recalled his past, back when he first took on a mission as an assassin. He was assigned by Azuno to kill someone and retrieve the gold watch on the target's wrist. In a restroom, Raizo confronted the man and immediately stabbed a knife into his neck. However, the target turned out to be too strong. He was still able to fight back. A fierce battle broke out right then and there. With his abilities, Raizo managed to kill the target and handed over the watch as proof that he had completed his mission. On top of a building, Azuno told Raizo to keep the watch as a reminder that he was an assassin. Then, Azuno ordered Raizo to execute a woman. She was a member of the clan who had also tried to escape, just like Kiriko once did. Instead of obeying Azuno's command, Raizo, disgusted, swung his weapon toward Azuno's face. Furious, Azuno ordered his men to kill Raizo. A fight broke out between Raizo and Azuno's ninjas. Raizo appeared helpless and was slashed by various ninja weapons. He then fell from the top of the building. It turned out that Raizo held a deep grudge against Azuno. Mika then invited Maslow to meet at a hidden location. Raizo sensed something was wrong and warned Maslow that because of his actions, many lives would be lost. Mika looked confused, and soon after, many soldiers appeared from all directions, electrocuted Raizo, and captured him. Maslow took Mika and Raizo to a secret base and locked Raizo in a cell. A confused Mika asked Maslow for an explanation. Maslow said there was someone powerful who ordered him to capture Raizo. He had no other choice but to obey. Maslow then gave Mika a tracking device so that if anything bad happened, he could locate her. Mika then approached Raizo and gave him a few sips of mineral water. Raizo warned Mika that the ninjas already knew their current location. Mika then informed Maslow about the ninja threat. Maslow and his heavily armed team underestimated Mika's warning. Suddenly, the lights went out, and Mika immediately ran toward Raizo. In the darkness, the soldiers tried to figure out what was happening. Above them, the ninjas had already positioned themselves to attack. One by one, the soldiers were taken down by ninjas moving in the dark. The ninjas also attacked the soldiers near Mika. Mika took a cell key from a dead soldier and unlocked Raizo's chains. A shadowy figure entered Raizo's room. Just in time, as Raizo's hands were free, he managed to take down the nearby ninja. As Raizo and Mika walked out of the room, everything went eerily silent. Raizo told Mika to wait, then disappeared into the darkness. Sounds of fighting were heard, but Raizo couldn't be seen. Then Raizo appeared, engaged in a fight with a ninja. Raizo succeeded in taking down the ninja. Elsewhere, Maslow was struggling to escape the ninja attacks. Raizo then instructed Mika to get a car from the parking area. As Mika left, dozens of ninjas emerged from the shadows. A battle ensued. Raizo fought against dozens of ninjas from the Azuno clan. Raizo skillfully dodged every attack. He took down the ninjas one by one. Even with high-level ninja skills, Raizo was still able to hold his ground. Then, even more ninjas arrived. Raizo, now exhausted, was wounded by a sword stab. He leapt to evade the ninjas' attacks. Meanwhile, Mika, already in the car, heard strange noises. Then, a ninja blade pierced through the car window. Panicking, she stepped on the gas pedal. On the road, many ninjas tried to block her path. Luckily, Mika managed to escape the building. Back with Raizo, wounded and trying to survive, he leapt out of the building. Raizo was running through the streets of Berlin. The ninjas were still chasing him. A fight broke out on the street. One of the ninjas managed to slash Raizo's abdomen. Raizo collapsed. Then Mika appeared, crashing into the ninja. Mika then rescued Raizo. She intended to take him to a hospital, but Raizo refused, so Mika brought him to an inn instead. Raizo lay helpless, his body covered in wounds. From outside the inn, Mika saw several shadows entering the room where Raizo was lying. The next morning, the police arrived, guided by a tracker Mika had planted. But they only found Mika sitting alone. The ninjas had taken Raizo away. Inside a box, Raizo tried to heal himself, using the abilities granted by the Azuno clan. His wounds began to close, one by one. Eventually, Raizo arrived at the Azuno clan's headquarters. He was brought before Azuno, the clan leader. Azuno said he had raised Raizo since childhood, to one day become his successor and lead the clan. But now, because of Raizo's actions, Azuno intended to execute him, for bringing shame to the clan's name. That night, Raizo was seen tied to a pole, awaiting execution. Azuno was seen pressing down on Raizo's stomach to torture him. Raizo vomited blood. Takeshi realized that Raizo was carrying a tracking device that had previously been given to Mika. Then, a group of soldiers led by Maslow appeared, and Mika arrived to rescue Raizo. It turned out that Raizo had been waiting for them. Mika then untied Raizo. A battle broke out between the military forces and the ninjas. The ninjas appeared to be capable of overcoming the threat posed by the attacking soldiers.
They're inside the XBC.
I thought we were team.
Yeah. You two with me!
Then Takeshi entered a room. Inside, Raizo was already there, ready to fight with his two swords. Takeshi ordered his 4 comrades to attack Raizo. A high-level ninja battle ensued. Raizo appeared capable of defeating them one by one. Then it was Takeshi's turn to fight Raizo. Takeshi appeared to be quite strong. The two of them fought amidst blazing flames. Raizo remembered that it was Takeshi who had executed Kirigu. Raizo looked furious and launched a relentless assault on Takeshi. Helpless, Takeshi was eventually killed by Raizo. Raizo then walked toward Azuno. At last, Raizo was able to confront Azuno directly. Azuno seemed capable of vanishing into the darkness, attacking Raizo from directions he couldn't predict. Raizo grabbed a sword and tried to fight back against Azuno. A brutal ninja battle erupted between Raizo and Azuno.
For your family, or this loss of my family.
Even though he was full of wounds, Raizo continued to fight Ozuno. Just as Raizo was about to strike, Ozuno once again vanished into the darkness. With his ninja-like speed, Ozuno managed to take Raizo down. As Ozuno was about to stab Raizo, Mika shot him from behind. Raizo told Mika to run, but it was too late. Ozuno disappeared into the darkness and reappeared behind Mika. With ease, Ozuno stabbed Mika straight in the heart. Seeing Mika collapse, Raizo this time used his ninja speed to vanish into the darkness. He launched a flurry of attacks on Ozuno, until Ozuno's arm was severed. Powerless, Ozuno was then executed by Raizo. Raizo had finally defeated Ozuno. Then Raizo heard Mika's heartbeat. He carried Mika out of the building. Raizo told Maslow that Mika was okay. Mika had a special heart located on the right side of her chest, unlike most humans. Mika eventually regained consciousness. Later in the day, at the Ozuno clan's hideout after the fire had gone out, Raizo was seen alone at the base. He looked at the wall that Kiriko had once climbed to escape. Raizo then followed Kiriko's footsteps and climbed that wall. At the top, Raizo saw a breathtaking view. Surrounded by towering mountains, Raizo was finally able to breathe the air of true life, just like Kiriko once promised him. And that wraps up the storyline of Ninja Assassin, folks. Thank you for watching this film. Don't forget to subscribe and check out other videos. Greetings from Sabati Esker.